had that, we probably know someone who has, right? For sure we do. In Australia and New Zealand, around 18% of the population has seasonal allergies or hay fever. And unfortunately, they can be a big pain when you got itchy eyes, runny nose, you're sneezing, you're coughing, you're congested, but you feel fine, right? But then you might have trouble sleeping from it, and you're tired at work. You don't want to be sneezing at work. Your eyes are bothering you, they're red. So how can we fight them, and how can we beat them naturally? There's a lot of ways we can fight them with medications or treat them with medications. As a nurse, I do give a lot of medications for that, and also being a nurse practitioner school, lately working in the clinic, we've been seeing a lot of different patients with allergies as well. So there's lots of ways you can fight them with medications, but as we mentioned last time, the problem with medications is they all have side effects. So how can we prevent them from even happening? How can we prevent ourselves from even getting allergies in the first place? And then if we do have them, what can we do naturally to treat them? We'll take a look at that tonight briefly. And we're going to go over firstly what causes allergies, what are allergies, what are their symptoms. Then as we look at how to fight them naturally, we're going to see what can we do, what lifestyle changes can we make, what changes to our diet, to our eating habits can we make, and are there any herbal supplements, natural supplements that we can take that have been proven by research to be beneficial for allergies. So what causes allergies? Allergies are caused by the body's or the immune system's response to a trigger by an allergen. So let's say you come in contact with some pollen outside, or some grass, or an allergen, any type of allergen. Your body, your immune system reacts to that substance, and it thinks that this is a foreign substance. I have to get it out. I have to fight it, and that brings all the symptoms. But unfortunately, people who have allergies, their body overreacts to substances. For example, the pollen from grass seed, it's not harmful to our body. It doesn't do anything bad to us. Cat hair, dust, it's not necessarily bad for us, but we oftentimes overreact to it. And when we overreact to it, our body produces IgE antibodies, which are little proteins. And these little proteins normally help fight infection, but they trigger the immune system's response, and then they have all the symptoms that lead to allergies. Now, the actual reason why these reactions happen is unknown. People don't know why a person's body responds specifically to an allergen, but we do know what happens when the allergen comes in contact with that person. However, research has shown there is a connection between family history, asthma, and some other similar diagnoses like eczema and other stuff like that. So there's two allergy types. The first one is perennial allergies. Those are year-long allergies. And then there's seasonal allergies, which is the hay fever that we're talking about tonight. So you can have allergies year-round. Have you ever heard of anyone that has allergies year-round? They constantly have that drainage. They maybe just always have itchy eyes, watery eyes. They're always fighting it. And that year-round allergy, the perennial allergies, is related to things in the environment like dust, molds. It could be related to wood stoves. For example, in the U.S., in some states, people have wood stove heaters that heat the whole house, and that blows the air through the house. And then they might be allergic to some of that from the trees or whatever. Pets, chemicals, cleaners can cause these year-round allergies. Seasonal allergies or hay fevers occurs when pollen levels are high. So springtime, fall, when it's windy, the grass is blowing around. And what are some common symptoms of allergies? We're all familiar with them: blowy nose, itchy eyes, stuffy nose, sneezing, your nose is dripping, you might have swollen eyelids, red eyes, your mouth might be itching, your face. You can even get a sore throat. Sometimes people oftentimes come into the clinic and say, I've just been not feeling too well for a couple days, and my throat's been sore. Can you give me an antibiotic? Everyone wants an antibiotic. But if it's allergies, an antibiotic is not going to do anything, right? And if it's a virus, an antibiotic is not going to do anything for you. So oftentimes it is allergies. There's other things like headaches. You can have facial pain in your sinuses, sinus pain, pressure, some changes with smell, taste, and hearing. Oftentimes, what happens if your nose is stuffed? How does food taste when your nose is stuffed? Not too good. Then you can have fatigue, dark circles around the eyes. And these are symptoms from the University of Maryland Medical Center. Now, the thing with allergies is, allergies in themselves are not, they're bad enough, but people who have allergies, they're at greater risk to have colds. They're at greater risk to have sinus infections, and they have them more frequently because they have that junk in their nose and their sinuses more often. So if they get exposed to a virus or something, they're at greater risk to have a cold. And they're sick more often. How can we fight allergies? There's lots of ways you can fight allergies medically. There's nasal sprays, there's nasal steroids. That's actually the first line. A nasal steroid is the first line for allergy treatment medically, because what it does is it reduces the inflammation in the nose, and it reduces your response to the allergen. There's other ways, antihistamines. But the thing is, if you use the nasal sprays long term, first of all, they're expensive. They're very expensive. Yes? Did you have a question? No. They're very expensive. Secondly, the antihistamines, the pills, you have loratadine, cetirizine, Zyrtec. Some of these pills, they have some side effects, right? And what are their side effects? Dry mouth, dizziness. Sometimes it can be fatigue, sleepiness, restlessness, moodiness, nausea, and vomiting. And also, these cost a lot too. So is there something we can do in our life? Can we change our lifestyle so we don't have to buy these medications and take them? I know I've fought allergies for years. I have them. And yeah, I do have to use medications sometimes. But if I can make the lifestyle changes, it's much better, because I'm not, first of all, spending the money for medications, and I'm not having any side effects. So what lifestyle changes can we do to fight allergies? You want to try to avoid contact with pollen. So if it's a windy day, try to avoid going out. If you're going to go out, let's say you have to cut your lawn or work in the garden or something, if you really, really have bad allergies, what you can do is wear a mask. And that really helps reduce symptoms. We have a large lawn. I have a large property in Virginia. And when I mow the lawn on the riding mower, if I don't put on a mask, I get allergies within a few hours. My nose starts running, start sneezing, I'm congested. But if I put on a mask, my symptoms are almost completely gone. I don't even get them in the first place. Now, if you do come in contact with pollen, wash your hands, change your clothes. Another thing you can do is shut your doors and windows. If it's blowing a lot of pollen, shut them. Some people who have severe allergies can buy a filter for their home, which is called a HEPA filter. It stands for High Efficiency Particulate Irritants Filter. And what that filter does is it filters out a lot of the pollens, a lot of the triggers, the allergy triggers that come in and cause us those symptoms. Another way to fight allergies with lifestyle changes is to exercise. We know exercise is good for us, but specifically when you exercise in the morning, our body releases cortisol. And cortisol is a hormone, and this hormone has anti-inflammatory effects. So when you exercise in the morning, get that good morning exercise, you're going to have a hormone in your body, cortisol, at higher levels that's going to decrease inflammation. So if you're exposed to an allergen, your body's not going to react to it as it normally does. Another way is sleep. I know this for myself. If I don't get enough sleep, your immune system's shot. Your body responds to things differently. You feel different. And guess what happens? When you come in contact with an allergen, your body thinks that it's harmful and it has to attack it, and then you get all these symptoms. So sleep is very important to preventing allergies. And vitamin D has also been shown in studies, getting enough sunlight to prevent allergies. Another thing is decreased stress. When you're stressed, what happens to your immune system? It also goes down, right? After exams at the end of the year, students oftentimes get sick because they just finished, they were all stressed, studying up for their exams, their final exams, their tests. And then they might come down with a cold, they might get sick. Stress is another thing that we want to try to reduce to prevent our body from overreacting to things like pollen and causing allergies. Now, is there anything we can do with our diet? Diet is actually a big way to fight allergies, and there's a few things we want to eat. You want to eat omega-3s, use probiotics, and dietary polyphenols. We're going to look at what these are individually here in a second. And then at the same time, we want to limit something. Limit processed sugars. So let's talk about omega-3s. What foods contain omega-3s? What are omega-3 rich foods? When people think of omega-3s, they oftentimes think of what? Fish. It is true, fish do have high levels of omega-3s. Out of the top 10, fish are 9 or 8 out of the top 10 for the highest. But there are other things that have high levels of omega-3s. For example, flaxseed. Flaxseed is 8 or 9 on the list. Then you have walnuts, chia seeds, spinach, soybeans, and avocados. So those are some good things we can eat that have high levels of omega-3s, which have been proven in studies to reduce allergies or prevent allergies. There's a lot of things out there that people say, okay, why don't you take this herb or why don't you do that? It works for me. But I'm only showing you here tonight the things that have been proven in scientific research, in studies, research studies. Because, you can, sometimes people oftentimes, might be right, things might work for them. But when you have something proven in a study, that level of evidence is much, much higher. Now, probiotics. What are probiotics? Those are good bacteria, right? It's good bacteria in our intestines. We need bacteria in our intestines. It's important for digestion. It's important for other things. And what do you think probiotics are found in? Yogurt is a big one. Kefir. Also, people can buy probiotic capsules. You've probably heard of them. You can buy them they can be outside of the fridge, not refrigerated, refrigerated ones. And a few studies, a limited number of studies, show that probiotics do decrease allergy symptoms. And a recent study in 2013 showed that they may have an important role in not only preventing allergies, but treating allergies as well. Let's look at dietary polyphenols. What are dietary polyphenols? Dietary polyphenols it's a substance that is found in certain foods. Certain foods contain this. For example, gingerol. Gingerol is a main component of ginger. Another thing is quercetin. That's an antioxidant. It's found in many foods. Another one is curcumin. Curcumin is the active ingredient in turmeric. I'm not sure if you know what turmeric is, but you're going to try some tonight. You're going to have all of these foods tonight. The gingerol, the quercetin, the curcumin. It's going to be in the cooking demonstration tonight. Turmeric is often used in cooking. It's a spice. It also changes the color of the food. It'll make it yellow, orange. And Indians use it in their food very often. Now, quercetin is found in many things. Gingerol, as we mentioned, is found in ginger. It's the active component of ginger. Quercetin is found in, it's an antioxidant. You know what antioxidants are? That's a substance that fights free radicals. It fights things that want to cause infection to our body. And quercetin is found in onions, apples, parsley, sage, green leafy vegetables, and many other fruits and vegetables. So it's very common. It's oftentimes found in dark red cherries, dark berries, and olive oil as well. And curcumin is curry extract. It's the active ingredient of turmeric. Now let's talk about limiting sugars. Why do we have to limit sugars? I don't like this one. I love sugars. I love cake, ice cream, all of that. And especially when you combine the two, cake and ice cream, or if you have like a hot apple pie with some good vanilla ice cream. Isn't that good? Yes, but it tastes good, but unfortunately, it weakens our body's immune system. Unfortunately, it can increase our risk for allergies. So studies have shown that processed sugars, especially processed sugars, not the sugar found in apples or the sugar found in honey, it's not processed, that's unprocessed sugar. But processed sugars, what do? They lead to the production of cytokines or cytokines. And cytokines are something in the body that leads to or causes inflammation. It causes an inflammatory response. And when you have inflammation, that's basically what allergies is. Your body is exposed to an allergen, pollen or something, and then your body reacts with the inflammatory response. It sends all the cells that cause the nose drainage, the itchy eyes, all of that. Now, sugar is one of the main causes of inflammation, but besides that, there are some other causes. Other triggers like saturated fats, trans fats, gluten, refined carbohydrates, and omega-6s. Now, why specifically do we want to limit processed sugars? As we mentioned, they cause our body to react improperly to an allergen, to something that's not harmful. They make our body, when we're exposed to it, it makes our body think that, hey, this is harmful. I better rile up the immune cells, the immune system, and try to fight this. Now, what happens when you have allergies? Let's say you have allergies, you have that runny nose, and you're all congested. What can you do for that? What can you do for that congestion? There's a lot of things you can do naturally. Garlic, onions, yeah, but then your breath is going to stink. But if you're fine with it, garlic and onions. Cayenne, it'll open up your sinuses. Drink plenty of water. Ginger tea is also very good. Peppermint tea, and something that you have all over Australia. What is that? Eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is great for congestion. You can use you can put a little bit on maybe under your nose and just inhale that. That'll help open your nose, your nostrils, your sinuses. You could put it in a little, boil some water, put a few drops of essential oil of eucalyptus, or actually the eucalyptus leaves, crush them up, just crush them in your hands. Put the leaves in the boiling water, and then put that water on the table, sit there, put your head maybe, I'm thinking inches. Oh, you know inches? Okay, put your head 6 to 8 inches above that. I was trying to convert to centimeters, but put your head a little bit above that. You can cover your head with a towel and just inhale that steam, that eucalyptus steam. It's going to open you right up. If you're able to, go to the steam room. That'll help and open you up, and not only that, it's very relaxing. I love going to the steam room after the gym. It'll relax your whole body. So the eucalyptus, inhaling that steam, you want to do that for 15 to 20 minutes. How can we strengthen our immune system? Because the whole problem with allergies is that our immune system is weak, or it might not be weak, but it reacts improperly to a substance. So you can strengthen your immune system in several ways: through sleep, hot and cold showers. People think, people talk about this and they might think, oh, is that an old wives' tale? Do hot for a little bit, do cold for a little bit. Is that an old wives' tale? Actually, it's not. It actually works. It actually strengthens your immune system, because what happens is when you have the hot and then you do the cold, you stimulate your immune cells. You stimulate the blood. You stimulate circulation. Have you ever gone in like a really hot pool or hot tub and gone somewhere outside where it was cold, jumped in a cold pool? You feel like pins and needles are a little prickling all over, and your blood just goes throughout your system much faster. So when you stimulate the circulation, you're increasing your immune system. There's also supplements you can take to increase your immune system: vitamin C, echinacea, golden seal. There's many other supplements that we're familiar with. Now, of course, before you use any supplements, if you're taking any medications, you specifically want to ask your doctor, does it interact? Garlic interacts with a lot of medications. Cayenne interacts with a lot of medications. So you want to talk to your doctor always first. And then be careful if you're pregnant or breastfeeding. Make sure that it's safe as well. But are there actually herbal supplements that you can take that will relieve allergy symptoms quickly? Because the things we've been talking about, let's say you have allergies and your nose is running and you're sneezing, you're not going to just say, okay, I got to go get a good sleep, or I have to go eat some ginger or something. It's not going to work right away, right? The things we were talking about were lifestyle changes: getting more sleep, getting more sunlight, avoiding pollen, But if you're in the moment and you have allergies, what can you do? Is there anything you can take that's not a medication? There are actually two things that have been proven in studies, in research. One of them that's researched quite highly is butterbur. The Latin name for it is Pesticides hybridus. And butterbur has been done in many studies. I saw about 12 studies that it was shown to be as effective as many common antihistamines or more effective in relieving allergy symptoms. Also, butterbur has recently been approved for migraine prevention as a Class A medication for migraine prevention. Now, they're still doing research on it to see how it affects the liver and stuff like that, because they say there's some concern that it might affect the body a certain way, affect the liver negatively. But none of the studies so far have shown that it does affect the liver negatively. With butterbur, sometimes you have to take it for a couple days to work, or a day or two, but it really works. I've taken it myself, and it really works. The recommended dosage is 50 to 100 milligrams twice a day. I've taken it for myself, as I mentioned. It works very well. Some other nurses at work have taken it, and they were very surprised and were able to get off of their allergy medications. They didn't have to go with that runny nose and feeling sick all the time. Also, when I was doing this, I did a study in Virginia. I did this presentation in Virginia, and when I did it, there was a lady there who said her daughter had been to an allergist, a specialist, and she was on like 4 or 5 medications, and then she heard about butterbur. She tried it, and her daughter said that, along with one other medication, was able to basically keep her symptoms under control. So it worked really well. Another thing is stinging nettle. How many of you know what stinging nettle is? How many of you have touched it? Probably all of us, if not all of us, have touched it, and you get those little stings, little burning in your arms or whatever, your hand, wherever it was. But stinging nettle, you can use it actually in cooking. If you cook it, you can use it in soups, you can use it in food, and the sting doesn't bother you anymore once it's cooked. They do sell it in capsules. You can buy it in capsules in an herbal supplement. And the study that I was looking at, one of the studies was persons were taking the capsule form 600 milligrams daily for 1 week. I've also taken stinging nettle, and that works. It seems to work almost very quickly. So within 30 minutes, 1 hour, you take it, the capsule form, and you're having relief. And stinging nettle is a natural antihistamine. So the common medications that we take for allergies are antihistamines. And stinging nettle is a natural version of it. So it actually prevents histamine activation. It prevents what causes sneezing. It prevents what causes the itchy eyes, the runny nose, the sore throat, all of that. Now let's look at butterbur. This is the butterbur plant. It is a plant. It grows a lot in Europe, pretty commonly. It actually has amazing effect, as I mentioned. Now with butterbur, what you want to do, if you want to buy the capsule form, you want to try to buy one that is free of PAs, or pyrrolizidine alkaloids. You want to avoid that because you want to look for the one that is PA free. Because if it's PA free, then you're gonna reduce your risk of any side effect. Because the PAs, or this alkaloid substance, is something that can be shown at high doses to cause liver damage. But these are small doses. And as I mentioned, studies so far have not shown that it causes liver damage. There's been multiple studies on it, over 12 at least. Now stinging nettle, we know how that looks. These are how the leaves look. This is how the plant looks. If you're going to actually pick them and cook them or use them, wear gloves. And then you can get some of that stinging down with rinsing them in ice cold water, cooking them, stuff like that. So so tonight we discussed how you can prevent yourself from getting allergies, what causes allergies, what are some dietary changes we can make, some lifestyle changes, and then a couple supplements that have been proved in research to actually reduce the symptoms. And do you have any questions or comments? That's it for tonight. Yes, go ahead. Pardon me? Yes. Yes. It is, yes, also similar. A lot of people who have eczema, okay, he does. A lot of people who have that oftentimes have the hay fever, have the seasonal allergies. Also, people who have asthma, eczema, seasonal allergies are all kind of related. And people who have them are at much greater likelihood to have the other one. Because basically your body overreacts to things. Yeah. Yes. Pardon me? Are they safe for children? There was a supplement on the butterbur. Stinging nettle is safe. Butterbur, there is one that was done in Germany, a study done on that in Germany, and it was shown to be safe for use in children as long as it was the PA-free. PA-free. So look for that. There's a German brand, I forgot what it was called, but if you Google it, Dr. Google will help out. Just search PA-free butterbur for children, Germany. You should find that. Yeah, go ahead. About eczema, I'm not sure. Hay fever, yeah, milk and cow products, milk, they increase like the drainage from the nose, kind of the snot, stuff like that. So they can aggravate it, and when they're avoided, oftentimes congestion, stuff like that is going to go down. But they're not necessarily shown to trigger allergies that I know of, or eczema. Yes. Okay. 53rd state, huh?
All of that TV shows
Is American.
all our news comes from America, so we're cousins.
That's nice. Thank you.
So we know about inches and feet.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I like that. Actually, I found that people know, feet, miles. It's really nice. Especially the older generation. Some people, there was this one man I met, he was 89, and he said, I don't know kilometers. He said, do you know miles? I only know miles, or there was like some other system he used. So, any other comments, any other questions? If not, we're going to move on to some of the foods that can be used in preventing allergies, and we're going to ask Joe to help us with that. We're going to have a smoothie demonstration, I believe.
Yes. Usually it's Joe with the microphone, but Joe's been roped into doing something else, so he's sort of moved up in his job here. Joe, what are you doing? Oh. So, yeah. No such luck tonight. No. See, one of the first times I visited Joe at his place up on the mountain for breakfast, I'm thinking of breakfast, breakfast. But no, Joe doesn't do breakfast. Joe does this amazing thing that he drinks, all right? So he's going to share something like that with us today. Now, it might as well be breakfast of all the things that are in there and all the goodness that's in there. So Joe is the smoothie expert, and I reckon that's why they've roped him in tonight to show us how to make a smoothie. All right, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh. Where are you, mate? I can't really have a go at him for being American because I am too. So, but they
Thank you. No, you're right.
They don't hold it against us, apparently. Thanks, guys.
Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. Good evening, everybody. I thought I was going to relax since I have Nathan here to take over. And for some reason, they pulled me in again here. And I don't know why. I don't understand that. How many new first-timers here tonight? Anybody here for the first time? One? Welcome. We hope you enjoy it. How many of you were here when we demonstrated, it was a while ago, a smoothie for breakfast smoothie? A few of you. Okay. Well, I have been on smoothies now for many years for breakfast. But a smoothie that keeps you going for half a day. Now, today, our hero of our demonstration is this little thing here. How many people know what this is? How many people don't know what this is? How many people are undecided? This is turmeric. Okay? It's in the same family as this one here. What is this? Okay, ginger. You are familiar with ginger, I can see that. They're same family. One of the best things for inflammation are these two products here. And this is what we are concentrating on tonight, how to save yourself from the pain of inflammation, which includes also arthritis. Now, I don't mind the taste of this, and you know, Australians use something called ginger beer, okay? And most of the people love it. But this here is... doesn't taste too good. I mean, how many people like taste of turmeric? You do. Look, oh, I'm glad. Okay, so you have no problem. you have no problem using it. Well, I don't particularly like it, so I have to camouflage it. Okay, but because it's so good for you, I need to use it. So I have started using it in my smoothies, but tonight I'm not going to do a full smoothie. I'm going to do almost half juice and half smoothie. It's a little bit thick, but it beautifully covers the taste of turmeric. And yet I have it. And it's good for you, especially when you have sore knees. You know, when you get a certain age, inflammation just sneaks up on you. And you have difficulty to walk, and it's painful, and you start worrying. Well, this will help. Well, first of all, what I do is we're going to make our base, which is fresh juice. And in my fresh juice, I use oranges, I use Granny Smith apples, and I will use a nice slice of pineapple. This is our base. So a little bit noisy. Let me do it. Nice and easy. Pineapple, a bit harder. And this is probably too big. You didn't see that. Is she watching? I'll be in trouble. It went in. It's called gentle persuasion. This is our base. Sorry, a dirty Joe. Look, I have one of these for now. I don't know how many years, and I'm going to pass a hat around. Don't you worry. Now we don't want to make too much mess here.
You can do whatever you like if you break it.
No, they make them tough in Australia. It's not like America. Oops.
Got it?
Yeah. Fancy them having miles still and inches. Come on. We got rid of that in 1966. We progressed. Sorry. Our base. Now, next thing is to cut a few fruits. And you remember last time when I was doing it, whatever you have at home and whatever is seasonal. In this particular time, I'm going to put one banana. Very easy. Just cut it up, throw it in. I love pear, and pears are quite cheap at the moment, and they are beautiful. And I'll leave the seeds inside. Don't worry, just cut it in. Why waste time coring it? Sorry? Oh, it's good for blood pressure. Did you hear that? Anybody suffers from blood pressure? Obviously, you're not married. Oops. I don't know. I'm going to sleep in a dog box tonight, I think. Now, our little heroes. Ginger. Raw, especially turmeric, is most of the people use powder. Now, powder does not have everything that is good for you. Remember that. Have it fresh. Okay, have it fresh. And this is one of the easy way of doing it. You can use it in cooking and everything else. Now, to camouflage the taste, I'm putting a little bit of frozen berries and frozen mangoes because I was too lazy to get the fresh ones. Fresh one is the best, but this is second best. Put it in. No problem. We put our base in. Whoops. I'm going to get in trouble. There's a spot on the tablecloth. Now we're going to make some noise. It's very easy to make, very quick, and it's delicious. Start on the low speed so it doesn't splash. Increase it. You see the beautiful color, changing color? What a beautiful picture. Gave me extra pineapple. Oh, that looks nice. I used already, that's too much. And bingo, all done. Now, it's a little beautiful appetizer before the main meals. I hope you enjoy it. Now, if you are more adventurous, because this is only a base, you can add everything else in it. You remember our previous one? Put all your seeds inside, okay? Especially omegas. Paul was talking about omega-3s. What did he mention? I walked out. Okay, we get walnuts, all nuts, but especially linseed, chia. Okay, those two, full of omega-3s. Also others, sesame, pumpkin, sunflower. And then you can put whatever you want to, use whatever fruit you want to, okay? Adjust your taste. You don't have to do what we do. No, that's it. How does it taste? I can't taste turmeric in mine. That's good. Well, I hope you enjoy it. And also, it's a good breakfast. Look, you make yourself a slice of toast and a big glass of smoothie like this, and you're right for half a day.
2 glasses.
2 glasses. Well,
That's
do you have 2 glasses? I have 2 glasses. I always wash up after me.
He makes my breakfast too. So he's really well trained. I'll get Tanya, she's next.
Tanya is next. Any questions? Now, of course, you need a good mixer, Vitamix. I have one at home for years, survived even a knife inside. And I pulled the knife, it was still going. Tanya is here, I'll give you this. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
Is it all right? Tastes good? Yeah?
Hmm.
Who doesn't like it?
Don't ask that.
Oh, that's good.
shop.
The one in Richmond does.
I paid.
Ask them, they'll get it in for you.
I paid $16 for 1 kilo, which is quite a lot cheaper than ginger. Ginger is over $20 a kilo. And yeah, just ask them. They put them in a little bags because people don't buy much. But if you want more, just tell them and they'll measure it for you. That's what he did for me. Well, Asian shrubs probably yes, but I went to the normal fruit shop and I had it. Well, place your orders, I'll only charge you 10% extra.
No, I think that's it. Oh, good. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I didn't hear anyone. Good evening, everyone. Oh, that's better. Oh, I got everyone's attention. Okay, so who has more of a savoury tooth? Anyone? More of a savoury tooth? Okay, this is much more your thing then. So what I'm demonstrating tonight to you is the zucchini, spinach and tofu slice. Now, you know, it's more like your cheese and spinach if, you know, those that do have cheese in their diet would usually do this with your cheese, but the tofu is more the replacement for that. So this is a really good savoury piece, and we'll quickly go through it. It's very simple, very straightforward. So what we have here, what I'm going to start off with, I've got 4 tablespoons of olive oil. So just into a pan, we're going to start just doing with the filling. So I'll just get this lid off. There we are. Straight into the pan. And then what I have here is just finely diced, or if you have a food processor, something like that, you just put it all in. So I have the garlic, the onion, and the ginger. So we've been talking about, you know, different components that help with inflammatory side of things. So I'm just going to put this into the fry pan and just saute this until it's, you know, translucent. And the fry pan doesn't want to sizzle for me right now, but it will get there. So we do that. So about, you know, do this for about 1 to 2 minutes until you see that the garlic, onion and ginger start to turn to that clear colour. And once that's done, I've got here 2 large zucchinis grated, okay, and I'm going to go straight in with this. And this is just a matter of mixing all the ingredients together. If you know, you don't wish to do this and you prefer to just prepare it like away from the stove, and you can just do it as a raw mix, and then you can combine it together into the slice, you know, making up that pie. So once we got this going, after this, I have here 1 leek that's been sliced. And that also goes into the mix. Stirring again, once everything starts coming together. Okay. After this, once that's all come together, we're going to add our, before the spinach actually, we're going to add our seasonings. Now what we have here is the yeast flakes, savoury yeast flakes, so that can go straight in. Cumin powder. We have the turmeric. We have the garlic powder. We have the Marcel chicken stock powder, this chicken style. Oops. And then at the end we have salt, but that's more to your taste. So you sort of put a pinch in according to, you know, how it tastes or how you want it. So towards the end you can add the salt in if you like. If not, then you can leave it out. So just stir this all together until it's all incorporated. It seems to be very slow. It keeps alternating. That's all right. Okay, so once you've got all, let's try putting on this one. Okay. Once you've got your mixture all mixed up together there and all the seasonings have been mixed through, and then we're going to add our spinach leaves, our baby spinach leaves. So this is equivalent to 4 cups here. So you add them in and, you know, don't feel worried that it's probably overflowing your pan, because as you continue cooking, it will wilt down. So we'll just keep adding. Oh. We'll just mix this through a bit. We're getting there. Surely but slowly. How'd you find the slice? Good. I'm glad. This is a really, really easy recipe to sort of follow, so there's no difficult method to it. It's pretty straightforward. Oops. Yeah, the stove elements seem to off and on. Okay. It's like this one's sort of heating up more. Okay. Well, once the spinach does all decide to wilt down, I might leave this on here for a little bit while I'll start on what we do with the dish. So if you have, this is more something for this size dish. So what you have there in your ingredients is something that would fit nicely in a dish this size. It's really, really slowly coming together. Okay. So the pastry that we're actually using for this is the phyllo pastry. So a very thin pastry here, so it's very different to your puff pastry or short crust. It will come rolled up, so just in a packet like this. Now just remember that when you use the filo pastry, once it comes out of the packet, don't leave it out too long, or if you're going to use it and you know that you've opened the packet and you're not using it straight away, have a damp towel over it just to keep it moist. Yeah. So you open it up. There you go. And what we'll do first is I'm going to oil the dish. So with any oil spray that you have, I'm just using olive oil. Just to stop it from sticking. Okay. Then I'm going to take one sheet of the filo pastry, just like this. And I'm going to fold it over. So on this bottom layer, I'll most likely do about 3 to start off with. So it'll just be like this. Yeah, if it can. Just like that. Grab your spray can again and just lightly spray over. Yeah.
I won't be long.
So we're just waiting for that to sort of wilt down, and it'll turn into, if you see that it's a very dry mix, you can add a little bit of water just so that it sort of comes together and sticks together nicely. So once that comes back, we're going to add grated tofu. So this is about 1.5 blocks of tofu. So you can get from either your Aldi store or from the Asian grocer. You'll find the blocks there. It's the firm, hard tofu. So this just grated, and then once the mix that's been taken to the back comes in, then we put this in and we just incorporate everything together. Once that's done, we have here, we've all used the egg replacer. So the egg replacer is more just to ensure that it all sticks together, because sometimes in the past I've tried to do this, and without the egg replacer I find that it all falls apart. So that's the last thing you want when you're cutting into it and you want to eat a nice slices for the filling to just all fall out. So I have 3 teaspoons of the egg replacer here, and 1 teaspoon of this is equivalent to 1 egg. So 3 teaspoons here, and that is mixed together with 6 tablespoons of water. Okay, so 1 teaspoon is mixed with 2 tablespoons of water. So there's 3 here, so I've got 6 tablespoons here. And I'll just mix this in now for you. And just give that a quick whisk until you see that it comes up, it starts to froth up a bit, and then you know that that's been incorporated and it's ready to mix in with your mixture. At this point, your mixture should come off from the heat, and then you'll add this into it. Okay. So that's all sitting there ready. So like I said, just with the filo pastry, if you do have a damp tea towel or a cloth, just cover it with that. But if you're using it straight away, then it should be fine. We'll just wait and see what happens to our filling. Yes? Oh, is there? Okay, that's a mistake. That shouldn't be there. Yeah, so it should just be the 1.5 block. So there's not, cross it off if it's there twice. You don't want to come up with a filling that's extra large there. You don't want your pie to turn out like you. So just the 1.5 blocks. Sorry about that. That was a misprint there. And I hope that this is coming shortly. Does anyone else have any questions? No, it's got everything in there that we need that we've talked about tonight with your turmeric and your ginger. Yeah, good for, helping you out with inflammation and everything like that. So we've learnt that much, yes? Yes. It's a powder. So this, you can get this, we do have it available down in our store downstairs, but you can also buy it from your supermarket. So in the health food section, you should have the egg replacer there. So this is looking much better. Okay, so it should look like this if you can see. And then once that's done, you can add the tofu in and just mix that through. So with this, at this stage, there's enough liquid in there. You don't need to add any water. So it looks pretty good. Okay, so once this is all mixed through, I'm just going to add the egg replacer with the water that I mixed earlier. And that just gets mixed through like so. So it's all mixed through now. Now we're going to layer the mixture with the pastry. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit at a time and just spread it like so. So I'm doing 3 layers here. So you can sort of work out, according to the mixture that you have, how much will fit within those 3 layers. So once I've done that, I'm going to grab another sheet, and like so. And one more. So to each layer, you can use about 3 sheets of filo pastry. Will go nicely. So once again, I'm going to spray a little bit and then continue adding the filling.
How was it? Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done. So you keep layering until, well, try and use all the filo pastry. The last thing we need is to have anything left over and then it's just put to waste. So just like so. And we do one more layer to finish off the filling that we have here. so. Okay, and then we're left with the last layer of the filo pastry. Okay. There we go. And on this one, I'll probably just put 4 to finish off. And there you have it. So you just spray this over with oil once again and straight into a preheated oven, 180 degrees. It will take about 25 minutes or so, but it's ready once it's golden brown on the top, and then that's your slice ready to go. So you leave it to rest a little bit, just let it cool down, and then it's ready to eat. Yeah. So I'll just... Very good. Woohoo! Yeah.
My grandma used to do it manually. Big table, I think a lot of you Europeans know that. And she pulls it until it comes so thin. And you put all sorts of things inside. It's amazing watching how they do it. Just a couple of announcements. I don't know, an item's disappeared on me. Don't forget that we have the shop downstairs. So if you have some time, breeze through. We also have the box around the corner for donations. We don't charge. It's something that we do for the community. But it all costs money, so we appreciate everything that you can donate. Also, literature around the corner. It's some of them free, some of them you can buy if you'd like to. Just have a look through. And of course, don't forget, next Tuesday we are back again. Monday, not Tuesday. I'm trying to hurry. But also there's invitations for the concert. Okay, we are going to have a concert dinner, 4-course meal, and there's going to be a lot of beautiful music, songs by Focus and others that are going to join in. So please book. We need to know how many people are coming because we need to get ready. Lydia, you ready?
Just about.
Just about. Any questions after, please don't hesitate, just ask us.
Just give me 2 seconds.
No problems.
Only my
Now,
hot water.
just a couple of things also. We are a church, as you probably notice. Our meetings are held on Saturdays. We have Bible studies in the morning at 9:30. We have our main service at 11. But after that, we have a potluck lunch, and we'd love to see you, okay? A vegetarian, vegan potluck lunch every Saturday, so come and join us. And don't be afraid, you'll be very welcome. Okay, Lydia, I'll leave it to you.
Okay. I'm just getting organised here. All right, now the question is, has anyone tried out some of the things that we showed you last week? Wow, that's awesome. Fantastic. Do you want to share what you've made? We'll start from that side. Thank you, Marcel. Yeah. You made the soup? Awesome. What did you make, Carol? The cauliflower. Okay. The coating? Okay, you tweaked the batter. Okay, how did you make your batter? Okay, use something else instead of oats. Okay, Jill? You made the soup? Yes, lovely. Yes, yes, very good. Someone in the middle, there was a few hands. Yes. The pancakes, Lovely. Yes. Was that for Mother's Day? Yeah. Awesome. Very good. Okay. Who else wants to share? The soup. Very good. Yes. The- Nice. Yep. Was it too strong or was it okay? Okay. Yes. Okay. What she did is put the root of the parsley in as well, and it was a little bit strong, so to counteract that, she put a little bit of honey, and that sort of stabilised it a little bit. Who else was there? Okay. Well, welcome back this week. We'll see if you can do some of these things next week. Today we're going to have it's kind of like an Asian soup, really. It's quite flavoursome, it's rich, and it's full of nutrition. And we're going to use a few of the things that we've been talking about, reinforcing the turmeric, the ginger, garlic. All these things are really good for winter as well, which will help you with your flu. So we'll start off by putting 3 tablespoons of olive oil or rice bran oil, it's your choice. I've got olive oil in here at the moment. And into that I'm going to saute my onion and all the aromatic ingredients, the onion, the garlic, the turmeric, and the ginger, they all will go in here and it'll smell really lovely. If we can get this saucepan working, you'll soon be able to smell it. So I've put in here 1 large onion, and I've put 3 cloves of garlic I'm going to put in there. It's up to you how much garlic and how much ginger you put in. And I've put in a piece of ginger about so big. It's entirely up to you. If you like to have it nice and strong and a little bit hot, put a little bit more. And this will start smelling really lovely soon. When I went to Thailand, that was one of the things that really grabbed me. Early in the morning, about 4 o'clock in the morning, you could smell the cooking going on, and it was a lot of garlic being sauteed. They use a lot of garlic in their food, and ginger, and you could smell that. And that's how I used to wake up in the mornings. It was really amazing. My daughter was teaching English in a village, so it was very authentic. It wasn't a motel or anything like that. I stayed at her house, so we were right next door to the real village people, and it was so nice. It was, you could really smell their breakfast coming on. They cooked breakfast and they cooked dinner as well, and sometimes even lunch. So what we're going to do with this is lemongrass. I'm only putting half a stick in here because I'm only doing half a measure of what, no I'm not, I'm doing a full measure actually. But I'm putting half a stick of lemongrass. If you can break it up a bit so that it, have you seen sometimes, I haven't got a great big knife here, but sometimes they hit it with the back of the knife, like a big knife or a hammer, a meat tenderizer or something, and that helps the flavour to come out of it. So I'll leave that ready for when we put our stock in here, but before the stock goes in, we have to just saute this and get those flavours happening. Okay, and we are using the ginger, the turmeric, we're using the cayenne pepper. Now, there is a lot of recipes that call for pepper. Now, pepper is an irritant, and if you use the black pepper, sometimes you can get a lot of stomach problems, but the cayenne is actually medicinal. It's got medicinal purposes in it, so you can use the cayenne without having a problem. So if you like to have hot, spicy things, go opt for the cayenne rather than the hot black pepper, and it'll have a different effect in your digestive system. So we're going to And that's also very good for your flu. And some of you might have heard about having cayenne capsules for your immune system. And it's one of these wonder products, wonder fruit. So we're going to use that. So this broth is a real good, strong anti-flu or whatever you want to call it. So it's a good one for winter time. It's starting to caramelize nicely. Okay. And you probably can smell it from your seat. So, and when that's almost ready, we will just put, I'm using some powdered turmeric, 2 tablespoons of powdered turmeric, but you can actually use the fresh one as well. We just grated so many turmerics today that we thought, oh, we'll use the powder for this, but you can use either one. You see, all our hands are a little bit yellow from preparing the samples. Okay, and that's nice and rich. Okay, when you feel that you can smell that lovely aroma, then you can put in your stock. Now, for stock, you can either use the Marcel stock that's prepared already, or you can make your own. Just boil all the root vegetables together, potatoes, parsnips, and all the root vegetables, and you make your own, an onion, and you just let it simmer until it has a, it goes down a little bit, probably reduces to about 2/3 of the volume that you have, and that will give you a really nice stock. But to do that, you need time. So what I'm doing tonight is so that you don't have to, you come home from work, you don't have time to make your own stock. You can either have something in the freezer that you can pull out and put in, and what I do, I keep all my vegetable water when I steam something or when I boil potatoes, put all my vegetable water in the freezer, and I get that out, and that's a stock. That can be a really good stock, but tonight we're going to use the Marcel. It's a chicken style, but it's 100% vegetarian. So you can have a look at that when you come up the front if you'd like to. So I'm putting 2 litres of this stock into my pot. And this will boil now. It'll simmer for about 45 minutes, okay? So it'll just sit there and it'll simmer for a while. The longer it simmers, you can see the steam coming out. It just reduces and the flavours get more intense. So it's really nice. Once that has simmered, we'll take that out the back because it'll cook a lot quicker. Then we're going to put our other things into it, which are, before it simmers, I'll put in the lemongrass. So that's pretty crushed. That will sit in there. And also 1 litre of water and 1 stock cube, or some extra salt, or taste it. As you cook, always taste your food. If you feel that you need more, you can add more now, or if you feel it's too much, don't add this into it, okay? So that's just a stock cube. And I'm going to add 1 litre of water. You can always add you can always have 3 litres of the stock as well, but I'm doing this so that you can see that you can make your own, oops, this is not very good, is it? Okay. If you don't have the liquid stock at home, you can use this water and stock cubes if you've got them, or just some seasoned salt, vegetable salt, and different things like that, but it will give you a different flavour, of course. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this out the back so it simmers. Yeah, do you want to do that? I'll just put the lid on it. And we'll forget about that for a while. While that's happening, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with with the tofu. Now, you don't need to have tiny little cubes like this. The reason we did this is because it's easier for you to sample it to fit into your cups. But you can cut whatever size you want, if you like it a little bit bigger, and just toss it in with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt if you want, or if you want to just leave it like that because the actual stock is very flavoursome. And just mix that up and bake this for about 20 minutes on 200 degrees Celsius, and it'll come out lovely and crisp and slightly browned. So we're going to put that on a tray. So just cube it however you like to have. You don't have to have this size. When you cube it a little bit larger, it's even softer in the middle, so you know it's quite nice. So that can go in the oven for 20 minutes. Just check, and when it's nicely golden, then you can take it out. Depending on your oven, that's how long you leave it. Take out the back. Now, when your stock is ready, and you've got all your 45 minutes has gone, you've got a nice stock, it smells good and it tastes delicious, then I chop up some long shallots to garnish it. Also some bok choy. Now you can put bok choy, or you can put some baby spinach or whatever you want to put in. At home, I wouldn't cut it really small like you've got it in your cup. I would cut it, probably leave those leaves like that. That's what I'd like that. So when your stock is actually ready, you won't have time to see it tonight, but when it's all ready, then just throw all this in, your shallots, your bok choy or your greens, whatever greens, and your cayenne. Slice it up into little slices. Okay, I'll move this so you guys can see what's happening. Okay, all right. So we just chop up our cayenne. It's a really, really warm, it's a warm one because it's a little bit spicy. Sorry if you don't like anything spicy, but when you're doing it at home, you do it to your taste. If you want extra spice, you put extra cayenne, extra things, or if you don't like it, you can leave that out. Everyone's starting to cough. Okay, so I've got my chilies ready, got my shallots, my greens, also one lime, the juice of one lime, and also some coriander for those that like coriander. Those that don't like it, you don't have to put in. Now, what I'm doing here, I've got some Singapore noodles, okay, and I'm going to soak, I've got some nice boiling water here, I hope. Yeah, it is boiling because I can see it. With the noodles, just take it out, and it's pre-cooked really. So that's what it looks like. Just top it up with boiling water, okay? And you can use Singapore noodles, or you can use Hokkien noodles if you like it slightly thicker. Top it up with boiling water, and it'll, see, it's fairly hard, like a block, okay? So when you put the boiling water on top, it'll loosen up, and you'll get all the lovely noodles separated. Okay. Just leave it for a couple of minutes, and with 2 forks you pull it apart, and I like to cut it once I pull it apart. But it's up to you. You can cut it beforehand, but I find that it's easier to pull it apart first, and then I get the knife and I start to cut it. If you don't like long strands, some people like those long strands, so do what you think is best. Okay? So, any questions so far? Yes? Yes? You can, that's a good question. You can cut it up, but lemongrass will always be hard to chew. It's almost impossible to chew, okay? You try to blend it, but it's still very hard. So what I do, once that broth boils, I put it through the colander and discard all that, what was in there, and then put the fresh things in. And that way you don't get the lemongrass strings, or you don't, even if you try to cut it small, you'll still feel that little hard lumps, little, yeah. When I put in the colander, when I do it, it'll be because of the lemongrass. What you can do, if you want to leave it whole, you can just take it out and leave all the rest in there. Yeah, because your ginger and your coriander and your turmeric, everything will be fine to stay. Not your coriander, your garlic, your onion, everything can stay apart from the lemongrass. So you can leave it. And just leave the whole lemongrass in and then just pull the whole thing out. Yeah. Sorry? Yes. 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 I will have to ask Mikey that because I'm not really sure. Is Mikey here? Mikey, how much of the cayenne powder should you take for an inflammation?
There's no specific amount because the spice, you're not going to have too much of it. Some people have a lot. I mean, of course, a small amount, like a teaspoon, will break the whole.
A teaspoon once a day or twice a day, or? Should it be taken one off or have it as a regular diet?
Some people take capsules, so you can buy capsules in a place where they sell herbal supplements. And just say, well, follow whatever it says in the instructions on the back of the capsule.
Okay, follow the instructions in the back of the capsules if you want to take capsules, okay? Yeah. Thank you, Mikey. Okay, this is coming apart, as you can see. Long strands. So was it very hot? Was it too hot for you? No, it was all right? Okay. We've got a healthy audience here. That's good. Lime leaf, yes. That's kaffir lime leaf will make it really authentic. Very good. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it is similar to it, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Okay, look at my noodles. They all come apart. Now is the time that I actually, oops, it's going everywhere. I actually get a big knife at home and I just go like this. And I just cut it like that so that it's just breaks it up a little bit. But I think it's fun having it long anyway. I like it long. But we did cut it for your samples because I don't think it would be very good for you to be pulling out a long string. Anyway, what I do now is we actually, yes please, we just sieve that and that's ready to be used when your broth is used. And you can serve that with your tofu, with your coriander and your vegetables, and you're ready to go. So I'm just waiting for a bowl so I can sieve that out. Okay, any more questions? Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, that's all ready to go. Now, if you are gluten intolerant, you can have this with rice noodles. So if you do rice noodles the same way, I pour the hot water in and let it sit, and then rinse it off, and you can have the rice noodles instead of these noodles. It's quite nice as well. You can have the flat pad thai noodles. They're really nice, really yummy. Beg your pardon? This is Singapore, yeah. Okay. There we go. That's all ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to toss this into it, and then I'll leave these other vegetables for later to put it into the broth. So unfortunately we won't be able to finish off for you because our broth won't be finished, but you can see there what it's going to look like. Okay, and I'm going to hand it over to Rosetta because the time's gone and we've got dessert to go. So thank you, Rosetta. Imagine how long it took Amy this afternoon to do the rice pudding. She had the pot that was about so tall and so wide, and she stirred it for probably nearly 2 hours. So she's got good strong muscles now. She won't have to go to the gym for the rest of the week, that's it.
Sorry, people. Oh, wow, now I can hear myself. All right. Okay, I hope you heard everything else I said. Do you want me to repeat it all?
She'll be stirring here all night for the next whatever time it takes with this stove. Okay, for those that need to go, I understand. Sorry we kept you a bit later. We'll be continuing with this until that gets cooked up. So, Joe, are you going to round up? Nathan, who's going to come and finish off? Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Rosetta.
I'll be here.
What do we do? We'll be back in the morning. How about that? All right, well, thank you all for coming tonight. What shall I say? Oh, if you have time, you can check out, someone can be downstairs afterwards. Yeah, check out a few goodies downstairs if you haven't checked out the little shop hiding around under the stairwell. And concert coming up end of May, end of this month now. Yes, that's right. So there's flyers around the corner about that. And what else? I think that's about it. You've been lovely. As we always do, we have to say a prayer of blessing. If you want to join me in that, just bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the gift of health, wonderful food that we can enjoy and that's good for us. Please keep everyone safe until next week. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. Great week. We'll see you next week.